my stream. It was not multi-streaming. I didn't realize. Didn't get the first like 4 rounds. Heretics getting their cheeks clapped. Pretty much it. Back on an eco again. I didn't even see what happened last round because Heretics finally got the op online and clearly didn't do much.
A lot of players pushed up to that corner inside the smoke. There was even maybe a flash from Levin about to fly through. It didn't come. Stealth drone is sent out instead to try to check if they're still here, and it sees them. Well, it saw one at least.
It's a nice little alert by back.
Exodus from this B site. Now he said it's all about what
Heretics very aware though.
If he gets space or
Already kind of rotating.
and he thinks he has space, little does he know, Wu is still tucked in on the back of
Oh, that's not a great peek, bro. We did not need to rush that.
Job done for Vac. Phenomenal round already, and now they get the chance as long.
I mean that's it now. I mean they're on a save, but it's GG at this point.
And with that, you got pistols attempting a retake with no control.
And these art flanks, man, are disgusting.
No reward this time, but it's the dramatic flair. That's what it's all about.
I'm saying I wish Heretics didn't use their timeouts so early. Address some of these flanks, man.
Look at the credits over on the BBL side.
Our lack of map control.
While it's been booming
Not playing together well.
The thing is, he may even just opt to try and go down to the spike. Obviously, getting an extra kill would be nice. Get that ultimate online. Sociable's not going to allow it.
Alright. Must win next 3 rounds for Heretics. And then this app doesn't actually look that bad. But
Running away with their map choice. Not overly surprised to see them pick this one with how things went, even though it looked like a decent map
what
for their
the fuck was Mini Boo doing there? What gun did he think he was gonna get? Oh, we're using timeout too. Wow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that's both pauses got in the first half.
I believe that is so, Tom. You can see the stress.
Hey, you know, do what you gotta do.
A 7-2 score line and an uphill battle to get back into things. Now, from the side of BBL, just further confirmation that what they're working on is
not won a single gun around.
They've got the secret sauce.
Something is just not right.
Anyone. This squad,
4 ults. Must win.
When we go to those little cams, and I think that's because this squad is very comfortable with Pearl. Sure, we saw Heretics there, but we were impressed, blown away by what BBL brought to the table, and it doesn't seem to be changing. And again, Tom, I just want to say, the fact that Sociable is on the bottom of the scoreboard. Last time, BBL were impressive. The dude was 25.
It's Loon, man. He's so unlocked, so free, going around the map, taking risks, not afraid.
The guy trying to make Papa proud. Like, Mark New is the guy who gave Woot the opportunity in that Fireflux young team.
Yeah.
He's currently top of the board. He's looking great. And then it's just like, but I'm still losing. Dad's team is still beating me. It's like, it's the student the master. That's the question in this series. Has Woot outdone Mark New, or is Mark New still got a few more tricks to teach?
That question might have to be asked on the second and third map.
Yeah.
It's an interesting knife.
Things keep going this
I
way,
feel like that's so easy to dodge,
Heretics have come
but
in
you
with
know.
4 ultimates under their belt. A good opportunity for them to bounce back. Again, though, on this defense, we've seen some aggression, but no real success from it right there.
Already primed our dash.
Like we're real close
Mini Boo.
to finally seeing at least that aggression.
We at least have
hit a wall.
forward
Whether it
main
breaks through it or
control,
not,
so we can stack
that
towards
remains to be
A.
seen. Profek gonna eventually step into his sights, but the fight has not occurred. Timing must have been just perfect. BBL setting their sights on the A side, but look how many Heretics.
Ooh, there's that flash. Pretty cool.
Still, they're making a lot of noise around that mid position. They're trying to bait players into that rotation back. Levin also selling the idea that they're moving this.
That's a little over aggressive if you're sociable.
Tech is being utilized again. I think Levin got a little bit lost with his own tech. Didn't know that he was stood right next to an opponent. Now, without that opener, without that success they had last time, they have got to try and get.
Yeah, I mean they have the money to just fight into this. Try to get rid of some of their guns, but this should be a Heretics run.
Killjoy ult comes into play. 17 seconds on the clock. Well, are you going to stick that plan?
Oh lord, please now, Heretics, don't lose this.
Margin. I don't know if you've got that just about. One player detained though, and he ain't gonna be doing anything with
That was pretty sick.
Prophet, 4 opponents, and he
The
you know what? They're not
KJ ult, and then
Oh,
you
the ult combinations there were
ult
absolutely
there
nasty. I think we saw
with
it right at the
Teo,
end that Armageddon was
and so
also
he's either
pulling
choice to get
backwards so that anybody
shut
goes,
down
"I'm gonna
or
leave
die
the
in the
ult."
ult. That's kind of
Oh,
cool.
into another ult. Like, there was no escape. That was perfect from Heretics.
It was really nice. Yeah.
Making sure there was no escape. It did cost them a lot of ultimates, but at this stage of the game, you have
Who
won
cares,
7
bro?
rounds
Yeah,
in a
you
row.
need the round.
Do it. Get yourself on
No
the
doubt.
board, break the momentum, and also you have to bear in mind that you used a lot
Nice
of ults,
Benji.
but so did the other team. So you kind of wiped the board clean other than that singular ult on the other side. Which, to be honest, Steel Garden's pretty good, but I don't know if it will change everything.
Well, that's it. Trading out the ult economy and getting a round win, something that you haven't tasted since round 2. Sure, that's a great success for your squad. The question that obviously comes to mind, though, is what do you do in this round? When we're back to normal gameplay, we're back to rifle on rifle, not Armageddon falling from the skies or coming from the ground. It's unclear. How that
Basically same setup as last round for
But,
Heretics. Worked pretty
I
well
think
for
at
them,
this
so we
point,
can
you know,
stack
game
towards
plan
A.
falls into BBL's lap, and for Heretics, a
BBL
7-5
just
scoreline,
really slow in these first
great.
40
We can forget the
seconds.
trouble they've had here, but it's how likely we are to get there. For BBL, again, A presence is made. Again, heavy rotations coming in from the other side. There are 3 players in Art, 1 on the A site, but this time BBL seem to have their sights set elsewhere. That does mean getting past Miniboo.
Alright, joining the op. Good job.
He's completely isolated. I don't know if there's any
Nice shot, Miniboo.
but it doesn't connect onto him. So he's able to hold this ground. This kill could change everything.
Alright, 1 for 1.
Well,
It's
for
not bad.
BBL, I think
Through
it has.
BBL.
That gives them the control
Get
they
free
need.
sight through
It
street.
puts them into a 4v4
Recognizing the
but
weakness
what could
in the
have been
setup.
a really dangerous position ends up just being a single kill.
30 seconds left.
Now Heretics are the ones left to pick up the pieces. 4v4, B-long control stolen out of their hands. Operator recovered by Yumpy as
The
well.
attacker going to play deep as well because of the fact they have Cosmic Divide.
It's being put into play.
Loon, man, so aggressive.
I think he's got a gate crash.
Alright, a little too over aggressive there.
Guided salvo claims Profek. Back on back site. He's flown under the
Good
radar.
timing by
Haven't
Vac.
detected him just yet. That gets a double on the board. It makes it
1v2,
possible for
Yumpy
He
can
see
still
when it's
win
being
this.
defused, and the shock darts primed and ready. The first lands, big damage. The second on its way, but it's already half. And he needs to.
Oh, you gotta hit that, bro.
But the shot did not connect, and it's Rien's to return the favor. 4-7. It's far from over for Team Heretics.
Yeah, no, the thing is, I like that round from both sides. Miniboo does incredibly well, even just to trade effectively. There's a world where he sort of doubts himself, a little bit of luck in the spams. I really like BBL's adaptation in the middle. I said they spot the Cosmic Divide on the other side and go, okay, that's the one ult that can own us. Let's play more aggressive. The problem is when you're up against Teo and he's going to force you into more unfavorable battles, that's always going to be a little
Alright,
bit
2
more
must-win
difficult.
rounds
Even
for
still, though,
Heretics.
Heretics, they pull off the retake once again, and as you said,
Oh, nothing crazy in the ult department.
maybe you get a second pistol, you're in the game.
Absolutely.
A little change in setup. Having our op
Still
towards
slip
mid
away,
now.
but even 8-4, not quite the advantage. It looked like it would be a couple of rounds
Looks like we
ago.
might get a
BBL,
fake
though,
incoming. Some B
Reds
pressure
will
into a
still be held
TPA.
high. 120 on the clock. Heretics not quite gone for that B-long aggression. In fact, they're not even looking at B-long. It's a very passive position from Boo, and if he does pop his head out,
Oh, where thought
he
you go?
might regret it. Luckily, it's not going to be Heretics losing a player. Instead, it's Sociable. Falling
That's
in mid.
huge if you're Miniboo getting
Now
that first
gone
blood
for this
on their
attacking
lurker.
side, and all control outside of B-long is in the hands of Heretics.
Yeah, they weren't really that. I had the TP towards it, but they didn't really have the control, so kind of just had to forfeit it. Now they're little map control.
Walking into the Killjoy setup.
This is bold.
Yeah, they're just waiting in case there's an over rotation. Like with
Yeah.
this
I mean, you're up
late
1.
amount of time on the clock,
Drone saw
but it is a
nothing.
mass
30
gamble.
seconds
Well,
left.
I don't have to force anything.
Comes back.
he's just used it.
leaving.
I think that was the thing. He used
what
it
went down.
probably like
Okay.
15 seconds ago, expecting them to be deep in position. So it's not going to be denied, but the fact is Benji has gone absolutely nowhere.
The thing is, can we
Terminator
punish
quite
this
seriously.
at all?
Unfortunately, Sinks just like
Looks
the
like
chances for this round to go to
lose
Heretics.
1,
Gonna
going into
slip
a set
apart.
retake against
Boo
Avise.
He throws the nade though. And
Oh, that's huge, Boo.
the round on time. Beautiful could have been sniped.
That is really
He
nice.
stepped back, he
I
waited,
can't believe he
he
didn't
gave
die
his breath,
on that peak.
Delivered just in time, 7-5.
Yeah, no, a really big round to end out that half from the big brain of that Heretic side. And, well, that's the thing, though.
Hello, Chamber.
In just a moment, we're going to be hearing from another big brain as we'll be throwing things off to Yumpy. Let's go! Let's go! I mean, it's last round.
I'm very curious why they didn't put the op like holding A and over rotate towards mid so that they could fast rotate to whatever site they hit. But they won the round anyway, so it's all good.
I think my role right now is, of course, show example to my other.
The BBL logo is pretty sick.
I'm the one who has played in VCT
Just like a
before,
crown or
so
something.
I need to show an example and make people
It's cool.
comfortable around them, because I know that when you are joining first time to TR1, everything is new, everything is exciting, and I need to either calm them down or make them feel super comfortable. When
But
they
versus
come in.
Vitality is gonna be sick.
I think being
Get to
IGL
see
for
less
the-
again.
for the rookies, as you could say. I think it's actually pretty easy for me because all of them have a big trust in me, which I appreciate, and there is no bull around between our team, so the respect between each other is very
That's
good.
crazy.
Well, with a 7-5 position, Yumpy no doubt feeling confident that his team has what it takes to push this across the line. Their attack side, well, it's shaped up well. Good rounds put up on the board early on, same as what we saw up against GX. And if Heretics hadn't started to step it up towards the end, I'd believe this one was due to be closed out. But a gap of just 2 with that 3-round recovery.
I mean, it really just depends on how confident Heretics are in their offense, because 5-7 is really just not bad at all.
Well, it could make that uphill battle just a little more steep.
Doesn't matter how you start.
I think it
You're
came
5-7 at the
back
half, you got a
like
chance.
Really big brain plays coming out of the defense, especially towards the end. Like Boo having that fragment in the very last second was massive for them. We'll see what sort of ideas he has for the setup over on the attack, because that's where I think he's going to have to play a much more pivotal role at setting up the team. It's where they clearly believe his lineups can bring value.
Already, stealth drone put out.
Alright,
They saw a player
little
back in
aggression,
ball.
bait for a Yoru insert.
Don't know is that one
Loon's
has
getting
snuck
one
up
here,
close. Look, the lead they've spotted,
obviously.
but not quite in time.
A double
Shot planted,
TP set up,
and
man, with a Yoru in the
BBL. Heretics
chamber.
though,
It's just
no
filthy.
legs are in this basket. There's 2 players still on B long, but we are on board now with an art.
It's a good little
coming
pistol.
in a little bit later, hoping to exploit a gap that BBL
And this
may not
Vise wall in
have.
A, it's very cool
See,
too.
They have not.
How angular it is.
And any chance to push that position is already
Definitely
gonna
less
be
likely to bait that up.
delayed by the Razorvine, and then a smoke. That's the thing, a lot of this composition does allow for plenty of delay. One is the shield, one is the sword. That's what this comp feels like, and Sociable, no doubt.
It's
is
a
that sword looking to go
little
that little bit more
risky.
aggressive, already spotting
You have
out
TP
most
online?
of the
Okay, never mind. We're chilling.
of that second one, or maybe he doesn't. Rien's already gone, and with the spike only just being retrieved now, it's going to be a tough position for them to get back into,
Easy.
especially now that he's seen what
Yeah, this is the danger,
30
especially in
seconds
pistol rounds. Sociable, he didn't get to really have any flair to it in the previous one. Here already picking up one with the headhunter. 5
Gonna
shots.
miss Sociable. Can't get another, but I mean, he did his job.
Never mind, Benji has ripped his head off. The site has not been fully taken just yet, though. Still a bit of a brawl brewing, leaving Boo alone with 10 seconds. Reveal catches him, but no one is there to take the planter down. Boo gets to
How does
reset.
Boo approach
But he's
this?
got
I mean, if he
Yumpy
just backs off
and
here, he
back.
loses, I feel
They
like.
know exactly where he is.
Okay, he looks like
from this position.
he might be able to pick off Yumpy.
Nah,
no.
To shoot the flash. That's really nice. I was
Flash is
looking
nice.
at Yumpy being like, he is incredibly far forward. Is he going to?
He really is, yeah.
But it was literally just a bait with a flash. Like you don't
That was
shoot
nice.
it, you're blind. You do shoot it. That
Dead.
happens. Really nice round from them. And this is the thing. I think, as said, their defensive side, especially thinking back
Yeah,
to
I
the
mean,
first game, was so
like I said,
unorthodox.
7-5 is
That
not
it's
bad
really tough to
for
play
Pearl.
against. Even you
but
said, oh, they've spotted a player.
BBL's comp
Teleported
is
away.
crazy
There's a
on
second
defense,
player
man.
who
You get the
hasn't teleported away, who
double
gives you net
TPs to
teleport,
take
but it's like,
space,
not
the
really
Yoru
enough
TP
time
for
to
fast
beat.
rotates, the
Okay.
Vise wall for
But if
extra
there's a second guy and
defense.
you're already dead,
Astra is just a defensive demon by herself.
Work out what they're doing in their heads, and they're throw punching you.
Combined with the fact that this is BBL's map pick, this should be over, but who knows.
Sociable's about to peek me with a headhunt.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, your attention is divided.
Alright, Marshall buy online, which I'm a big fan of.
Stealth drone goes a little further. Make sure that close left corner is not occupied.
How slow is that suppress? Because he keeps being able to TP out of it like very easily.
This sniper in hand, he probably has that headhunter, and so either way, someone you don't want to mess with, Levin, probably goes in that same category.
Well, that's both sides of the map. Let's go mid, guys.
Hard, I suppose.
Is he saying Lewin? Is that what is that how it's pronounced? Because if it is and it's not Loon, I'm so sad. Because Lewin is just not interesting.
Just looking to try and do as much damage as possible. Will now be handed into very capable hands of Vu on the other side. Profik about to come under pressure.
Place another star, backs out. They've occupied that now. There goes the dash. Nice kill, Profik! This is a Spectre. I don't think I could do that with a rifle.
Alright, W glaze. I love how Profik just looks like so chill.
They were dealt with quickly.
Well, the fun thing with that is that they now get a free
Just a chill guy.
outlaw as well.
Yeah, a little upgrade.
So if anything, this is now made things more.
It's a nice shot.
I might probably leave. Yeah, Vu's just going to be the utility man for this round. Not going to have the weaponry. That was the gamble that they took, kind of damaging their own round. Have to be, and actually now looking at the buys across the board, it almost seems fairly even, which is definitely a scary prospect when you are.
Back bars, classic EMEA.
9-5
What
down.
else?
It is their opponent's map choice. Expectations for BBL have been incredibly high, and well, as said, it's a student versus a master in terms of the server, but I do think that even though this is a pause of technical nature, there'll be time for thought for that Heretic side, as a loss in this next round could genuinely be them out of the map.
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, losing this pistol as well for Team Heretics, this has put them into rough waters, to say the least. And I think you're going to need someone to hold the rudder steady as they navigate this. 4 rounds down, BBL, economic boost that they've just had as well. They've got Outlaws coming into this round, which is a danger in and of itself. Again, I can't highlight this enough, Sociable has not been there. He's not having a game right now, and it's a 9-5 lead to BBL. If this guy unplugs and plugs in his mouse again, we're in trouble. And I think this is where, for Heretics, you start to look at them and go, okay, what can you do to deal with that? And we've seen it many, many times before. There are players on this roster that can compete with the best duelists in the world. We need to see them activated. Mini Boo, he's had a couple of rough shots so far, but I think all across the board, this Heretics doesn't feel the same. But I think that is also down to proficiency of BBL on this map. They are horrendous to play against. They're an annoying team, and this is, from what we've seen at least, certainly for me, it's my favorite map that they play.
Yeah, I think as well, like you mentioned, Sociable, he was 14-9 on the attack side when he played in that previous game.
Yeah.
He was 11-3 on the defense, so if anything, statistically it gets worse.
Yeah,
Less kills, but he doesn't die as much. So, and that makes a lot of sense. He's going to be proactive. He's going to be consistently pushing the map and then having a get out of jail free card. So we've already witnessed it throughout. It's going to put pressure on opponents, and the thing is, they also have Levin on a Yoru who's going to be doing exactly the same thing. And I think individually, he's also looking very
Back
good.
in the
So
action.
I am worried for Heretics in this map. I think there would have to be a serious shift in the pacing of how the game is going. They need to shut down some of those aggressive plays, and wow.
Alright, looks like some A main aggression, and Heretics just back off. Kind of forced to. This is your buy. Don't really want to be too risky.
Towards this B site immediately, sensing that presence on A long, wanting nothing to do with it. Stealth drone clears the closer corners and gets them all the way down towards that site, smoked off on the right.
Oh, did we change what the Vise wall looks like? Because it's like its actual color on the screen now.
The shot from Sociable fails to land, and despite damage done, Heretics 5 players on that B site right now with a plant coming in.
This is a very good position to play from. You're up against a Ghost, Spectre, and 2 snipers. As long as you're not
Alright, this late flank from Vac is kind of everything, but they're not really waiting for him. Okay, maybe we are.
Shock dart attempt for a little extra damage. Maybe if they got lucky with
Damn.
that. But stepping into the smoke with 2 players.
Heretics
one
very
of which is
aware,
Boot,
and
you.
it's just
It's
GG.
not gonna go well. Sociable.
Very
He's
clean
here
round.
early.
Very
Maybe
clean
the
round
last one to
indeed.
leave. Idea to make it a bit more costly. Doesn't land it. Look, some shots hit, some damage done, but can't deny that's an in zone flawless for Team Heretics.
Yeah, big response. I think the way that BBL
Benji
played that
pumped
was,
them.
let's send our
I'll pump them like
utility-heavy
in
players
Fortnite,
on
yeah.
one side and our weaponry-heavy players on the other. The second this fight doesn't go their way, I think it's the fake smoke thrown in
One enemy remains.
by the round time. It seemed like it was going to fall apart. It had to be utter heroics from Sociable. As mentioned, like
Alright, this is kind of the turning point of the match.
16 and 8 at the top of the board. No one else is
I feel like if Heretics win this, come back,
this is
way
where
on the
things can
way.
change. Full buy for BBL. Social immediately investing into that operator, and he wants to fight them so
Ooh.
aggressively. Shot not landed though, and that has been the story of this map for him.
Yeah, you're going to be that little bit more aggressive, obviously, on that agent, especially on your glass cannon.
Alright, we putting our
Really
vice on
wanted that opening
B,
pick.
having our yard
Once
control
that utility starts
streets.
flying and bullets come your way, going to be quite as easy to land that value. Now for BBL, still sticking with this 3-player towards A site that we've seen before, and I guess the difference here, we're not using that same lighter presence around mid that Heretics were able to do. Benji was watching Door and Art with his utility. BBL have to keep boots on the ground to keep control of that.
Alright, Heretics setting up for an A split.
Giving up. The avenue open. Heretics are
BBL
feeling
just
the
kinda
space on the
giving.
A side, no doubt the target.
Knife up.
Man, I love KO on this map because that knife A site is just so huge.
Boo those lineups that Wook didn't want to learn.
They don't really push off fast onto it.
Prophet's still the real danger
People
here.
could be positioned.
Timing ticking away.
Ah,
Messi,
Prophet
maybe
could have
the
gone
most
huge
possible
there.
moment.
Oh!
It's the shot that lands. It's been coming. Finally, Sociable's able to enter the scoreboard.
I think this is
Maybe
done.
the perfect moment. Benji though still clinging to life.
Need some
On
heroics.
the board for him. There's still a chance.
It's not over just yet, but look.
No
what
utility
Heretics
for
have.
Boo's, kind of
No
trapped.
utility.
It's all kind of on
That one battle
Benji.
storm. They want to fight. They're gonna have to do it dry. Just swing.
Oh my
in.
god, Boo, that's
exactly
nice.
what Boo does. A beautiful connection from Benji and the boys of Heretics falling across the line.
That's incredible. 2v4 win.
Shot, and the
Huge.
gap is down to 2.
He's had a resurgence. He was 0 and 6 at one point in this map. Now finds himself 9 and 10. I said it, he won them a couple of rounds towards the end of the last. and even
That's
with
nice.
a collateral shot from Sociable and a mass advantage. This is just where they stepped up. And the thing is, he learned from the previous mistake. That's the thing. I feel
Whew,
like Boo
that
is
flick.
a supercomputer. Like
Yeah.
he, as a person, like you can fool him once in a battle, and then the second you've done it, it's like calculated, stored, and so he sees that
Alright,
scope and he goes,
alright,
okay,
Glaze.
if I shoot this, I'm getting swung, so I'm not going to shoot it. I'm going to dodge it and just wait for someone to peek. And that's exactly what happened.
He's a smart man. And now
He might be the smartest, genuinely. Of all
Alright, so that's a huge round. Sends BBL onto an eco. That's why the round was so big. We get 2 ults. Yompy and
Just sort of the look
Loons.
he gives you when you're talking to him, you go, damn, I'm wasting this
I don't know
time."
what I'm talking about.
He's so nice
Yeah,
when he
he's-
does it as well.
Yeah, I do get that though. I think you're
Alright,
very
just
right.
no
He's a
stupid
super
deaths if you're
man
Heretics
does
here.
just- he's very calculating.
Stalls it.
The way
Get an
he-
easy
the way
round
he
win.
Even thinks about the
With the
game, talks
KO
about it.
ult.
Well, there's certainly a bit more data to collect, but for now, 2 rounds in between them, it's looking like a much better game than it could have been. Like I said, 7-2. BBL were in the lead at one point. Sociable wasn't online either. We just saw a big round, a big double kill from him, collab. But outside of that, you know, the things that were working for BBL before are not working in the same way. But they've shown us another face to their Pearl. Heretics, though, starting to find their footing. Getting back into the game, putting rounds up. This attack
Interested if
side,
they
they're
try
setting the pace.
and get
Well, that is
aggressive.
exactly what
Insert
they're
the
doing.
Vise Wall deep somewhere.
Barriers go up, pistols in the hands of BBL, and a spread out look to this attack side from Heretics. They are holding their bases, waiting for aggression, and BBL are keen to give it to them.
Oh wow, just a straight mid walk with our 2 teleport players. Yompy taking first contact here is crazy. Never mind. What was I saying? You just be Benji.
And the way that that one went, Luckily for Heretics, no weapon to be retrieved, but you talk about that combination in the first half of Dimensional Drift.
Fuck, I said no
Hunter's
stupid
Fury,
deaths,
that is
and we
available once
start
again.
off around
So
20
although
seconds
the
in
guns
with the
haven't
stupid
picked
one.
up, just thinning the herd a little bit could mean in the
Yozinho
later
cannot be
rounds
happy
that
with
those
that.
ults become even more valuable.
4 players towards A site. Pressure now on Profek. He's only got a classic. He wants to get out of here alive once he spots that that's where the play is coming in. But even just look at what this man's role currently is. He's bouncing back and forth between being long.
Despite being a man up, I don't feel like BBL should be relaxed here.
He's just placed his
Like,
first
keep
star.
up the walks, keep
Oh,
up
and
the
he sticks around.
map control.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a
Because if
couple
you try
rounds
to
here where
retake
Profek,
this could
he's in
be
the right
bad for
position.
you.
He leaves the smoke right as they step into it. This time he goes back in. Mini
I don't
Boo
hate
gets the
that
shot
from
first,
Profek,
a
but
weaponry diff. The Hunter's Fury seeking out its targets and damage done, but no real conversion for the kills just yet.
if we were gonna invest our Hunter's Fury, then Profek should not just be on site at all. Or we should have just burned that earlier.
Lurk is expected, but not dealt with. Back now left. 1 versus 4, and although a couple of players are tagged at least a little bit. I don't know how much more realistically this man can do. The other danger as well is you're looking at Miniboo and Rien's 2 orbs away from their ultimates. Don't really want to give those kills.
Alright, that's
over.
8.
Gives it to Boo, not the end of the world. He's only got a couple, but it is now starting to really see the caliber of that Heretic side. I said it, after they had that horrible first map in their game last week, you could see the fact that it didn't phase them. They won that same young team that, oh, my mental's gone, like Miniboo talking about.
Oh my
like,
god,
oh,
I didn't even
hate
realize you
playing on
dashed
that.
up
It was
there.
like, okay,
That is hella
round
risky,
2,
man.
let's go. This time it didn't even take to another map. 2 pauses. They spoke it through with the coaches. I think everybody rates the coaching staff at Heretics highly at this point, and we're already seeing that resurgence.
Yeah, it has been
Alright, going back to this mid control.
so far in a map. The
I'll
BBL
fuck with
seemed
this if
set
you're
to
BBL.
win. They were dominant. They were looking confident, and everything was working. Big players weren't even online, but the game
Like, I
plan
feel
was
like
too
this comp is
strong
perfect to do
fail.
exactly
Now,
what they
though,
just did,
they
which
are
is just take
one
early
round
mid,
in the lead.
leave
All
your
that hard
chamber,
work
and then go
has been
stack towards
chipped
A.
away by Team Heretics. So it's a big play from Levin. In there for 2. Doesn't quite get out, but
Why is he saying Lewin? It better not be Lewin instead of Loon. I'm gonna be so grossed out.
I think BBL would like big mid control at least from them, good passive B control as well. But the real danger is if they just commit to this A site hit on Heretics, they're gonna have one person standing in their way, the leader of BBL, and then it will be a difficult retake for the remaining players to actually make happen.
I feel like our chamber could go take over our, and our Vise could go take street, but whatever.
Here they go into the site. Yumpy
This is all on Yumpy for the most
giving
part.
up for the
This
ultimate.
is
Gonna
this.
be rough.
The
Fragment
curious
from Blue as
position.
well. It left him a tiny gap.
Oh, there was a chance.
They weren't expecting the repeat through. Instead, a post plant. Advantage in terms of HP, but that doesn't last for long. Back's done well.
Back gets Boo.
Take a look at Art as
Slate
well.
flank on
Sociable
Sociable is
all the way
huge.
around.
Beautiful.
He's got a free kill. They thought we killed Profek.
Top
No
off,
one's
just
gonna
top.
get behind us in Art this time, guys, right? But well, you're wrong. And
There you
wrong
go.
again. Nice shots by Sociable. BBL back on the board with this defuse. The gap is up to 2. They're getting ever closer to closing this map out.
Again, it was this disruptive aggression that caused them these initial problems. Trading evenly. And this was the kill. It was just that slight gap that it also seemed like Boo again was aware of, playing around. But Vac winning that fight turned the round on his head, gave space as well for that lurk to come in.
Alright, huge
Still,
round
the
by
difference is
BBL.
just 2, and the attacks still have finances, along with a couple of
Got
high-impact ultimates
Sociable
and Blade
and
Swap
up.
just one away. The fight isn't
Taking early
done
B
just yet, but
control
Sociable
with the
gloves
dart.
are off.
You see Yoru take this, he can get out of there, but with Sociable, he can only back
Beautiful,
off of this.
man.
That's why he needs Yumpy. The second player pushing up with him makes the difference. What a frustrating start to a round. Heretics coming in, no doubt, saying, all right, this is where we get back in. We bounce back, deliver the damage, the beat down onto BBL, but instead, it's BBL biting back.
Nice
Sure,
trade.
they lose Profek, but Levin's right in there for the trade. And Boo, with the spike in hand, has a 1v3 to make happen. No idea where his opponents will be by the time he steps into a site. And the weapon in his hands, Tom, it's valuable, but they have enough credits that I don't think it's
We're changing
likely
up the
he goes
vibes a
for
lot,
save
which I
this late into
respect
the game.
on BBL side.
I'm almost certain if they could make an agent change midway through, we would see something like a Sova or a Sky or a Fade, just something that can clear these early angles. It's been such an irritation for them. The last round, players pushing through a smoke. This round, just walking up and then having a second layer to that aggression.
A drone would really help, but you can just use your KO missiles early. And we have an Astra, so we have recalls. Like, yeah, it's harder without a drone, and a drone makes it easy, but it's not like we don't have the tools to clear some of these early angles and push off the upper.
With their opponent, there is nowhere safe for Boo to hide in at this stage, and well, he won't even get that first fight. 11 now for BBL.
Yeah, and this is the problem. We've mentioned this earlier on about how irritating of a team it is, BBL are to play against. You get to 10-8, you have your ideas, you have your plans, and this is what you face off against. Sociable on the peak is one thing. Yumpy hitting that double is another entirely. Even took down the drone as well.
Like, it costs you nothing to recall and face up on B, so I don't know why you would do it.
And more so, what they did was, because there was a player deeper before, they sent the drone out, so you can't retreat, or you retreat before taking the shot. That's the only option you have. Because of what that drone does, it takes away your ability to use abilities. Heretics had a good idea.
Alright, we get the buys and the Yoru in the same slot. Early drone out lands. Oh, we get the suppress on him.
Bear that in mind. He is stuck here.
GG.
Yeah.
Just a little miscue with the TP, all good. But hey, we finally used our missiles in our drone early, even if we didn't have them. You know how aggressive they've been, so it's all good.
With a gate crash, but a little bit of planning might have helped out there.
Alright, Kajil gets us free sight. And good stall.
Still taking them some time. They got stuck behind the wall. That was it. The wall went up, the shear, and it trapped the spike. I think it was when Miniboo dived through it, so they've been out.
Right, so getting stalled off B main. They use the tail ult, so they can't just flood side immediately. Got it.
Profit is available. That's one at least in the spam. Not on the right angle to deny it. Again, don't give this man too much of an angle. We know what he can do with it. The problem is this crossfire. He needs to isolate immediately.
That's rough. Did Profek have no stars now? Or no stars left? Surely not. Because we gotta cut off some angles if we did. Benji go kill, hell yeah.
Benji go kill. Well, he's been doing all right last couple rounds. We'll see if he keeps firing up. With 2 rounds in between them, they need everybody online. If you're a Heretics fan, to close in this gap. Operator for Sociable.
Alright, let's see if we get a replay. Because I'm curious if Profek had some stars left.
Another bit of aggression. It doesn't look like it in the
I didn't
early
get to see.
setup that we see. Barriers and whatnot. The same sort of, this is the wall that we saw last round, right? They've been putting it down on B quite regularly. That was what slowed down the spike, what stopped them from planting what bought. And just a little bit of extra time ultimately wasn't capitalized on.
Alright, kind of back to this default setup they had. It's a huge kill. Oh, way to take the crosshair, and Benji just swings, gets an easy kill. Up 2, just don't rush it here. Okay. That could have been the round. Yeah.
Instead, though, well, Benji is going and he is killing. Another round on the board. Heretics, the climb never
I don't like being up 2 and then just rushing it there. Like, just slow it down, reset, wait for reactions. Because that could have easily turned into a 2v2 being up 5-3. Because we're just like rushing.
I think that's what they've done. I think BBL
I was about to say in-game, that doesn't work with their comp. Let's slow things down with a Yoru chamber comp.
Let's just play passive. Yeah, no, hopefully not on the server when the barriers are up, but let's take a breather before those barriers go up. BBL call a timeout, and it is definitely time. Heretics have been catching up. Heretics burned their timeouts very early on, but that got them back into the game. That made the course correction possible. Now, BBL look to do the exact same thing. This is their last pause, the last chance for either team in regulation to touch base with the coaching staff. Only a couple of rounds left before we either go to OT or we go to Lotus. And the question is, after a 7-2 start and some really impressive rounds, will BBL be able to keep up this theme of upsetting the better team, the underdog coming out on top, at least here on Pearl? Or will we be going to Lotus with the usual suspects 1-0 in the lead?
That's the thing as well. You have to look back to Lotus as a map that was played all through champions for the side of Heretics, even making an appearance in the final. They didn't win it, but they showed that they were definitely comfortable versus the best in the world. Here on Pearl, obviously, it's a little bit different. A map coming back into the pool. And one that a lot of teams have had to adapt on. The defense for this one, not a lot in terms of weaponry, but
Alright, got a 3-man B-walk on our eco. Same thing we did last eco, I believe. Or was that Heretics' eco? It might have been Heretics' eco. Anyway, we did walk up mid. I remember that for BBL.
Agreed setup that they got punished on before, where you saw that drone used from, I'll use this one here, from this position. And this time they're a little bit more passive where they put that out from. And you know, it's a little bit of conditioning. It wouldn't get all the way down to the site where the other one would. Wouldn't get the same kind of information, but it does its job. It spots that early B long push, sends BBL backwards. And in other rounds, if it was the operator and Yumpy up close, sure, they can reset. They can still have a pretty good chance. And you've
Did pop the other?
But in this round where you've got pistols, that early surprise play is really
Alright, Benji's taking some good space into A. No one's there, but he doesn't know that, obviously.
There were 4 of them in the circle. It was pretty good. It was 3.5. I got them while they're moving.
This has got to make him think at least one person is still on site.
Information that is currently there, not seeing anything. They are now going to have a stack, and there really isn't enough time to go back in the other direction. So Heretics are going to walk in.
Yeah, I feel like Benji up one could have walked onto site and seen, so that the other 4 could have sped up with that little time, but oh lord. Okay, yeah. Easy round anyway.
But the weaponry difference really shone through in the end. We are now 11-11, neck and neck. The big thing here is, Tom, Heretics have been winning a lot of these attack rounds. They've been doing well with the rifles in hand, and there's going to be nothing but rifles from here on out. Ults are going to start to come online for Heretics as well. You have to look to BBL and say, after that big lead, after building your castles and then realizing the foundation is sand, will they be able to make that recovery? Will they keep themselves in it?
This could be a pace change. Heretics have been taking their time, a lot of the times sending it over onto that B site with early drone control. Instead, they are taking space, using that guided salvo immediately just to remove.
They're just gonna cut noise insert here, surely.
The question is though, do BBL continue to do what they've done before and try and re-aggress? This time, it looks like they've thought better of it.
Alright, so drone, really useful information.
BBL, look for mid control. But elsewhere, Sociable.
Oh no.
If he rounded that corner, he was dead. There were 2 players, 3 in fact, if you include Miniboo, holding it. Now back to just a crossfire. Just 2 guns and the spike sitting there for Sociable. Claiming this pick would be huge. And he
Dude did this exact same peak last time.
The reveal goes deep. There's the shot. Immediately gets out. Doesn't overstay his welcome. It's good. No punish from Miniboo.
Nice shot, Miniboo. Loon could still get one here. Oh, that's rough, man.
Yumpy torn between 2 angles of which teammate to help and ended up not really being able.
Wow, look at this rotation. We have 30 seconds left. Back really aware here.
An immediate change back over towards the other side.
Oh, this is interesting.
Use of the steel garden to take away their guns.
I mean, but now he needs to go for these fights.
They could be in trouble.
They know they have to go, but now reinforcements are here! Mini deals with them in an instant and profit.
I mean, surely we go halls and take the gunfight.
Trailing since round
right?
5. They have not seen victory to put them ahead of BBL now, right at the last second. We could see a 13 to 11.
This was rough by Loon. I mean, it's a 4v5. You had a Sova ult and an Astral. I don't think you had to force it there for him. But by losing that kill, or losing that fight, it just fucked his team.
Come back in, the one guy with a rifle, and well, he's been having a decent resurgence again. The same for Boo. It seems like down and not out is the way that
Let's get info.
Heretics are looking at the beginning of kickoff. Can
Interesting
BBL
flash.
find that last little lease of life? Already, a lot of those aggressive early positions on B are dismantled.
Alright, so we kind of got a little mixed buy for BBL. Last round, send it to OT. Some good ults online.
Nobody to fight. 4 players now making their way down.
I really wish we had played more to them
Definitely feels
previous
like BBL,
round.
this defense, it's been an impossible
That's
task
not
fighting
good.
the tide of Team
That was
Heretics.
one of the ults we had.
There is no stopping it. Hunter's Fury won't
Alright,
find
so
anything.
2 ults for BBL and none
Heretics
of
just
them
waited.
get value, so
Now they
that's...
step in to claim
This
the
could be
space.
13 for
It is
Heretics.
essentially being given to them. Plant secured. Sure, the wall goes up, but to what end? It buys them some time, but unless they're going to start this
Nice
diffuse
angle by
right here now,
Sociable.
it won't have that much impact. Boo around the
He's
side.
getting 2 here. Boo, you're the
That's a
goat.
triple from Boo. Back alone
I'm no sight
to make
block.
this work.
This
to
is
keep
done.
them in it. He's got 2 opponents, and they're hiding away. They're not giving him any
We're about the
opportunities.
pistol.
It's Team Heretics
GG.
claiming this map. 13 to 11.
Ew, Benji, I do not like that haircut.
Swept away by the comeback.
All good though. You're the goat.
Easy to take down Heretics. It's never easy to stop the 2024 team of EMEA. And while BBL have learned that the hard way in map number 1, still a chance for the comeback. We'll be back after the break.
I mean, BBL low-key just threw, I'm not gonna lie. It was their map to lose and they just fucking tossed.
Tommy, are you stupid?
I'm curious what Heretics has for Lotus. Did they play it in their first match? Let me see. They did not. Okay, so I get to see their Lotus comp. Should be fun. Very curious what they pull out. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Mute that. I'm gonna go to the bathroom or something. Here, you can bad. Apollo! 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 Stop it! Stop being bad. Go. Get off my bed. I can't just go to the bathroom for 2 seconds without you being annoying. You better be sitting still. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a huge fucking kill.
The round, I didn't know which way it was going to go. But yeah, no, I think that also plays a part in how aggressive BBL were in their approach.
And I really like this idea from Heretics. They know the BBL are in a very difficult position because of the first half that they had and how they're not solving. And even though this Vice ult was great, Heretics takes that moment at the beginning of the round to wait for them to make the first tech, to make the first mistake, and then punish it. A very good mid-round call that ends up in a round that just because of the ults that they had should have been BBLs.
Is it fair to say then, Kakuka, that maybe BBL had it coming at some point? Someone was somewhere at some time was going to punish this style, right? Eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I really like how confident they play. I think that the new players that they've had are having a lot of impact. But I do agree that also Team Heretics is a team that rides a lot of momentum. Like when things start to go well, when we start seeing Benji and Wood having these rounds where it's just like them two against the world, it is very difficult to react to that and be on top of that because this is the Heretics that everybody's scared about.
Yeah, it feels like besides a grand final, when they're like this, it always close out. They always close out. You cannot doubt them. But let's talk about the next map very quickly. And also on the side of BBL, Vax Vice, which we have some official stats here. You know, it's only been 17 days since he unlocked this agent, and he looks great on it. Honestly, for a stand-in performance, for the fact that he's never played this character.
There's some ops for saying that, I'm not gonna lie.
On the second half, we know that everything was a little bit falling apart for BBL, but on the first one, the way that he was lurking, the way that he was pushing, it's definitely something to keep in mind because as you're saying, he's not performing as a stand-in anymore. And now, moving on to Lotus, let's see if he keeps on playing with that Cypher. I do not want to see like Heretics abusing the fact that he's alone on C, but my man's gonna quit.
I do. I want to see that.
Okay. I think Vac for me was really impressive in the sense that he was able to take those timings on the attack, like, and that allowed BBL to have so much space as well. Like they were not letting Team Heretics in on the retake whatsoever. So yeah, I think he did a great job and was doing what would be expected of him.
Yeah. Now on to my second favorite topic to talk about in the world, which is Viper on Lotus. You heard it from me so many times last year.
Yeah.
Why are teams not playing Viper on Lotus? The win rate into Viper comps was crazy low. However, coming into this year, GX are the only team that stuck with this Viper. No one else is doing it anymore. The last time we saw Heretics on Lotus, they also
well, I guess she probably just means
the
EMEA
Viper.
because
Do you think
it's not true for all regions.
It's gonna go today, given the context of what everyone else is doing?
I think it depends, right? We need to think.
I don't think they're. Well, actually, Heretic
Maybe
brought in the
when there
Viper
was something
back
that they
for
might
champs
consider in
after
this map.
playing now
I see your
Viper
point, and I see
entire
why they
year.
would see
So.
the value, but I would also see them invest in that time
I'm
into
curious.
creating some new composition and probably learning from some of the teams that have been playing the map.
I'm guessing they're
Yeah, I
going with
think for me,
Trace's
I wouldn't be
comp.
surprised if we've seen Tejo played on this map pick. pick. I think that we've seen a lot of teams run Tejo so far, and again, that would mean that Boo gets to jump back onto that controller where we've seen him shine.
Well,
all right, let's see it.
Think that's what we're gonna see.
Heretics.
Map here. I mean,
Oh.
there is no Viper.
Astra
I'm really
Omen.
sad, but what do we make of
No
double
Viper.
controller, Boo and Vu?
I mean, I like it, right? Like you still have that initiating power. I think that Boo is going to feel very, very comfortable playing on the Omen Wood on map 1.
No Cypher again for
Benji,
Benji, man.
Team Heretics is bringing, because even though they played a lot this map throughout last year, it was always something like the third map or another team picks it onto this. So if this year they have decided to pick on this map, I want to see what they have prepared.
Yeah, I think switching out that Viper for the Astra is really, really nice. We've seen the team have a lot of value, and as you say, Voot was performing very well on it. Rienz as well, I imagine he's going to be very much in Mini Boo's back pocket and being able to help set him up on that raise. But over on BBL's side as well,
Viper over the
same
Omen would just
similar
be
kind of
so much
competition
better,
with
bro.
the Yampi being able to set up Levin with Sociable as well. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see how these two pairings match up.
I am very, very intrigued, because if Team Heretics take this, it will be a clean 2-0 and they will advance into the top 3. Mitch and Tom, nobody saw that coming, right? Surely.
I gotta say, Tom, I didn't see it coming after such a big lead for BBL. But
I was going to say, clean for the VLR analysts who only look at whether it says 1-0.
oh, 2-0.
Oh, 2-0.
Literally.
Like, yeah, a little bit clean, a little bit. If they get a
Oop.
2-0, maybe. We'll see how they do on their own map.
Might not have been clean, but it was squeaky when it came to that first map. 13-11. Lotus, I don't know what to expect from, because for BBL, for any team, it is going to be difficult to bounce back after the loss that they just suffered. It is an emotional reset. I don't doubt you come into this map thinking we can win this. Hell, it was 13-11.
All right.
That's how it goes after a couple rounds. Early aggression.
Standard
BBL
opening,
walking down a long.
seasonade combo
Heretics about to have contact. It's moved
into
two players right in front of
mid
him.
AWOC
He almost got
crunch.
both.
The rat.
Benji needs one, he gets
With a
it.
sheriff from there can be difficult. The
3v3.
rest of the team, the thing is, he's kind of bought them time. Just by being in that position, spotting that many players, they can get into the afterplan, and the attackers, it looks like they still want to be proactive. Miniboo taking contact.
They're expecting that play to come in this way, where the players were spotted in the spawn. So 2 of the Heretics players go towards Mound. They clear this out. Now they see no one. The nade slows them down long enough that Heretics can now set up. They realize no one's coming behind. They've all rotated. There's the at least Fade alongside Cypher spotted. I think they know Omen's there as well. That's all the information. Now, all that's left to do is find the kills. Huge damage done on the wall banks.
I mean, there's just so little time. I mean, it's okay. Thank God we killed the Cypher.
I don't think they got it half. The fights need to be won by BBL here and
No
now.
time, no
And
time.
the time is
GG.
already too far gone. Woot! The one to find the last kill, the one to put 1-0 on the
No
board.
time, no time.
Yeah, he's been having a great time. Like we talked about in the pre-show, having the lack of lineups as a thing, reason he wanted to sort of switch up the roles. To be honest, like, firstly, anything Neil says, I don't trust him. Like, he is going to try and bait you. But that one may, I don't know if I believe it. I feel like for a pro player, that's kind of nuts to admit, but at the same time, I also think there's just comfort in putting him in a position where it's like, he can be an anchor with his utility, he can set up with his utility, but he can also just frag out on his utility. And that seems to be what Woot is doing. Leaving that man alone in the late round to almost play off of, I don't know. I think that's just as dangerous as anything else.
Alright, getting some orbs after
For
BBL.
okay, they
Pretty
managed to get
good.
an orb in a round where you have a single sheriff to play with. Collecting the orbs is not a bad thing whatsoever. I'll be very impressed if they get this second one, but I think it's much more likely they're just going to.
I would love if Benji just kind of drones through
Well, that's
sight
it. And
here.
even 2 kills will be enough to put a dent in the economy. We've seen shields purchased across the board. We've seen only 1 player on Heretics have a light weapon.
Alright,
Guardians and
Heretics gonna
Bulldogs
get sight for
filling
free
out the
pretty
roster,
easily.
With Miniboo having a Vandal. Now, damage on the Sociable is good. This is
Classic
Benji's
on classic.
classic. He's
And
almost just a turret at this
could
point. as
BBL
well.
try
Sure,
this
he can
5v5 retake?
get a
I
kill, but
mean,
he's just trying to keep this
you're
information, and if
getting
he goes
sight
down,
space pretty
at
freely.
least they have info to trade out.
Everyone's
It's
stuck
the site
towards
itself.
tree. This could be
So many players
dangerous.
alive, some utility still to play with. This could get dangerous. Already, BBL are forcing that early utility out. Post plant from Heretics being burned up. Now it comes into blind spam.
These spams have
and
just been
that's
so
somewhere
good
they
by
excel.
Heretics.
Wow. Yeah, there were dangers there. None of them come through. And so Heretics, with an in-zone flawless, are 2-0 in the lead. And also, Tom, by the way, an in-zone flawless where they came in with 4 rifles. Yeah. That's a huge economic boost.
But that's the big thing is we go back to their second round in the last map where, okay, they went for a Marshall, some SMG. That's not happening this time. They're on the attack. They're going to come into this next round with 4 rifles. There's a very real chance that they manage to turn this round into a victory. So we now have to focus more on BBL. And in classic form, we're seeing this Raze combination alongside the C's just to basically stop anybody going in that direction early. Instead, though, look at the pace of Heretics. They're going into C already.
Yeah, there's no time to wait for this roster. Quite an aggressive stance. Perhaps it will find value. Vac, a danger man up close, hiding inside the smoke. Yumpy, the real danger man, he just swung wide. That prompts Vac to do the same, claiming backside control and spotting another on the site, dealing damage to Rian's.
This isn't a bad bonus for Heretics, regardless of what happens here.
Someone's around mound. A smoke should be online.
They might win this low key.
It doesn't catch them, though.
I would not be surprised.
Connecting the first. Benji steps in to help, and now
huge.
suddenly
And it's planted for Benji. He needs to clutch.
Push from Profec just straight through the smoke. Nothing to be found by it. And Social, well, bar the one, but with time ticking,
Great
the 2 players
start
still alive. This should be an
Heretics.
impossible clutch for Sociable. The Nano doesn't
On a
make it
miss.
much more difficult, but the player peeking on top of Mount
All
certainly
good.
does.
It's
Well
Benji.
handled by Team Heretics. It felt like they really had it all put together.
Yeah, I think this is always the terrifying prospect with this team. The second they get into post plants, it's like they just flick a switch and it's like perfect synergy.
It was just perfect.
Like every single time there was a fight, there was a secondary player ready to swing off of it. So worst it was a trade, and it helped them get into the lead in terms of those picks. And this is the worry that was there already
Good team
early
play.
on this attack side, 3-0 up, building that economy as that was in essence a bonus round. And now you look at
Interesting,
the
because this
opposing
was
side, and I think the
Heretics'
toughest
map
thing
pick,
with this
and
map
BBL
to take
chose
into
defense
consideration
first,
is last
with
map,
not a
you're
very
up
strong
against
defensive-sided
a
comp.
Yoru chamber combo.
Yeah.
It's obscure. It's stuff you have to adapt to, learn from.
Right,
That's
this is
exactly
very
what Heretics did.
basic. They already know how to
This
play against
composition
this.
is not that. It's not anything too crazy out of the box. A lot of it's going to be Yumpy set up into other players. You've also got tape to watch back of this.
Yep.
I think catching Heretics off guard is going to be way more difficult. And this team, as said, has a lot of
Alright, a lot of map control, early orb.
but
Good
in essence, still a
little
lot of
anti-eco
similar
setup
roles
for
and comfort.
Heretics.
Comps changed, possibly improved for what they're looking to do as well. And I think, you know, this is very much it. Coming into this after Pearl, not just the first map going the way it did, but it being Pearl, it being BBL on Pearl. Now we move to Lotus. Heretics, it feels like there's 2 scenarios. One is that Heretics come in here and show that, yes, the last
BBL not
map
really
was
walking
close,
or
but
using
it
any
was
utility
because
to
BBL are
re-clear.
very good on
I'm gonna
Pearl.
stack towards
Not because
A,
they're
because you
as
just
good
need to
a
get
team
ahead
as
of their
Heretics.
rotations,
In that
but
world, I see Heretics
so
dominating
Heretics gonna
this
get
map.
C for free.
The other is that BBL
Just gotta
actually
take out
play a
back
fight.
here.
They really
Yeah,
legitimize
nice
their name
eye.
beyond what they've done so far. There's no questions of Blizz Fnatic on an
Could
all
just
day
be a
so
die to bomb moment for real.
they'd have to do it here. And already it's off to a poor
Don't
start.
need to give them any
Something
more
to note as
orbs
well
to
is
snowball.
last time
I mean, their ults are
Vac
pretty much
played this
online,
exact
so I
same
guess
role.
it
He
doesn't
did
really
the
matter a whole
solo
lot.
Cypher on this side of the map. He did well to get a kill and get out versus GX.
Yes.
They are destroying him so far, and they are intentionally putting the pressure on him.
100%. This is a different team. This isn't GX. I think
All these smokes online just making this retake so difficult and giving all these Heretics players so many weird spots to play in.
Quickly they
Kinda
cut
nice.
Oh,
through like a hot knife through butter. Rian's picks up kills. Plenty of ultimates online for
Kind of
Heretics.
interesting way to just make those post plants so much
For
harder.
BBL, time is running out. It may only be a 4-0 start, but we know.
I mean, look at that. You're not expecting anyone right there.
Right down that first.
And Rian's has
One of the
perfect
most
cover.
exciting
Only
things
has to watch one
compositionally with
spot.
the change is Rian's going back over to an initiator. He was playing Viper last time. I think he's fine at Viper, but the second you put him on like a Fade, a Sova, anything of the sort, I just feel like his damage capabilities go up 1,000,000%. Pacing though may look to change again.
Ooh, a little quick B
Showstopper
round
used
with a
immediately.
showstopper. I
Good
mean,
luck, Yumpy. And good night.
disgusting. Heretics.
Clean opener. Problem with these ultimates.
And in a
high
must-win round
impact.
for
Big opener
BBL,
plant
gonna send them back to an
secured
eco
out
if
the
they
back, and
lose.
they even got a bit of control towards the
And
broken
Heretics
door. If
have
this
2 more
win,
ults to play
it's
around.
a couple
Just
seconds
2,
in,
just to
and
secure
BBL
this eco
have
swing.
to try to find a solution. Cosmic Divide comes in to make it a little bit more difficult. I love Sociable's attempt at spamming inside that smoke. It's sneaking through the Cosmic Divide. It nearly got him a kill. Miniboo is left on 6
Nice little
HP, and
blind,
still,
but
he is alive,
not really
drawing
great.
breath on that side. Finally, he falls, but the trades come in quickly. And 5-0.
Easy
Before
run
you
for
know
Heretics
it, the lead's
again.
extended even further for Team Heretics. The worst part about that, Tom, I don't think that round looked particularly close.
No.
There's a round where there's a world where if you just blur the sidebars, I might even think it's an eco from damage that they're able to deliver. Heretics make it look easy, and with a 5-0 lead and a map under their belt, that's the last thing you want to see as a BBL fan.
I think they know as well that that round is almost like a bit of a backbreaker.
Let's go!
That you go, okay, we're coming up against what will be
Yeah,
a
you
solo
tone,
buy, ult
Mini
starting
Boo.
to build, rifle's going to be in their best spot here. Let's throw in 3 ults.
Yeah,
That was it. They used 1 to get the opener, 2 in post plan. Getting back in there so difficult. Also, the first player they killed is Yumpy, and if you've watched any of BBL so far, he is the center point of this team.
Alright, what can
Whether or
BBL
not
do?
He is the person finding all the kills or whatever.
I have a
especially
fade
on this
ult.
map, his
One
stuns
off
and his
the breach
flashes
ult.
put players into position. You kill him
Back
immediately,
pretty well.
it becomes a lot more difficult.
A little trap play, it
That's
seems.
exactly it. He'll be in a position of leading from the crow's nest.
Attack side Odin.
For Heretics, 6th round is what they're seeking.
Heretics bait out this
Much
trap
more
very
slow
well.
and steady approach
Don't
to
lose
it.
anything.
A default to start. A minute on the clock, minute 10, they start moving back together. The unit is now grouped. The Odin, a beautiful touch. Really, chef's kiss on that one. It's going to try to deny some of the
Oh,
control
nice
that
shot from
BBL have.
Profek.
Can't deny that side angle. Profek does beautifully to find that. I've been looking for a little bit
Surprised
more
he
from
didn't hit
Profek.
that other
They know
shot.
he's here. They know he's here. This swing won't catch anyone off guard. And Boo is quick to deliver. Re-ends in the same boat.
2v2.
It's a showstopper thrown through, Tom. It might give them a chance. It depends where this fight goes. If these weapons can
They
be
gotta know
retrievable,
these are the
and
B and
Yumpy,
C
they're
players,
back to
surely.
group up, but it's kept it in a 2v2.
Yep.
They've done well from this point onwards, but can they convert it? As you said, a showstopper here.
Oh no no,
And
do
it
not
was
die for this,
that-
bro.
No,
Okay,
it
good.
missed, just slightly. That means the damage wasn't anywhere near as much as maybe first
I mean, 2 smokers in a post plant
thought to be.
should be
Both
dirty.
players looking to play on the edge of this smoke, and
No!
those low-buy weapons.
You're in a smoke. Why would you let them come to
The
you?
risk taken pays off.
Why?
After a very slow start to this map, BBL are finally on the board.
Why swing out of that?
Showstopper activated, and I was very worried that we were not going to see the pay save card thrifty. That instead, this was going to be an ultimate, a valuable safety net for this team, thrown away. Even the kill onto Rienz, it doesn't guarantee there'll be any impact, and this round could still fade from the history books. Instead,
I mean, that's a nice ass flick, don't get me wrong. It's like, I don't agree with that swing at all, bro.
on the sensors that they are still here to play, and bouncing
Like, just
back
sit in
and
your
around
own
that
smoke.
means they've got 4 ultimates granted, none with the same impact of that showstopper. But it's a start. The foundations have been set for
Alright, a
BBL.
little TP and
Well, this player here, the showstopper, landed a kill. That was his 2nd kill so
Oh,
far.
boo.
Now with the op-out, looks to change the way this has been going, turn the tides in his favor. At least for now, they've denied C-main control. But, well, it looks like this hit is going to go
Alright.
elsewhere.
nice little setup by BBL. C aggression, force them into the A.
Last time out, they were 5
Back.
down versus GX, still won the map.
I don't. Yampi using that ult there is kind of strange. I figured they'd wait a little bit till they're more on site. Smokes are up.
Delay.
You can at least get some
Max
players on the
utility now,
retake.
relying on this site,
But
ready for the push.
balls, I guess, and you still have fade ult.
Right, the patience is definitely there. Whether it gets a reward or not remains to be seen. Yuppie is pushed up in B main. It's an off angle.
Just
It's one that's
patience,
not
bro,
checked right now. He's been
patience.
spotted, but got the kill in time. Fades
Nice,
around the
Yumpie.
corner as well. That buys time for teammates to come swooping into the site. And Profek, would you believe it? He's got another 4K. That's BBL up to 2 and a lifeline delivered.
Building off of this was so important. As said, in their last game versus GX, they started slow on Lotus. Built back
Good little
in,
bait and
really got
switches,
lost
man.
but still managed to win
Get
out the
one,
map with a
perfect swings
streak on the
out, gets the
attack
other
side.
with
They
his back
can do it.
turn. It's nice.
Those ultimates, though, building up for either side. Nightfall would be good for the retake, and I'm looking at that lockdown on Benji. But I like the adaptation. They've now started to move back over to that A site. He was
Alright, we got the Odin
struggling
online.
with the hold on
Pretty
C.
big. And we have op as
Speaking
well.
of C, Yumpy has already he's just walked up. He's just taken that control. They're going to have a lot of information early. There is nobody on A or B because of the positions they've taken on the map.
Sociable. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm seeing what I like.
Windows Social is op. Or not op. Ult. Hits nobody though.
Rienz goes down. I think that was a spam through the smoke from back.
This is getting interesting.
What was that? Yumpy does the exact same, albeit in a bit more ridiculous of a manner. That forces
They
the
detain.
lockdown.
Off it.
Has detained at least one, slowing the return of BBL.
Alright.
But the numbers still sit in their favor, and someone has to be the one to
This
seek
pinch by
those kills,
Perfect's
sitting on
gonna
the
make
site,
things
waiting. Surely
interesting
as a death
for
sentence,
Wu.
the
Can't
nade
take space.
corrals them all to the back
Forced
side.
to go back
BBL
site.
able to group and get a foothold on this
Oh, the gap in the
exploits
smoke.
that perfectly. Backside
Love
control,
that.
maintaining the spike, ticks further and further away. BBL, the ones with pressure on their shoulders. An attempt to draw them into that smoke as the defuse is tapped, but Benjyfishy wins his duel up top. They're holding control for a moment with Boo left to run this clock down just a little bit further, and he might have done it. He
He's
just
got no
survives
time.
as long as he can.
Oh wait, they have to.
He's got it, hasn't he? He's got a little window,
Nice
1.5
job.
seconds, just enough. Boo.
5-0 start from Heretics
He
turns
couldn't
to
buy enough time.
5-3 score and
It's
like
one of those rounds that,
pretty nice
again,
if you're BBL.
when you have all of the information there for BBL, it definitely helped that early aggression on both sides of the map. I think also just the factor of Yumpy's panic attempt. This was just an attempt, by the way, to destroy the lockdown.
Nasty.
That was his only goal.
Yeah.
He was trying to break it with an aftershock and spam a few bullets to make sure it got destroyed. While spamming, a bullet comes through the smoke, and he goes, there, and just kills him. And this is also a round again where you have to put the highlight onto Prophet. Incredible stuff. Once more, this same aggression. Deep control from Yumpy, deep control from Levin. But this time, it has to be given up. And why? It does seem like Heretics themselves are starting to put pressure across the map so those gambles can't come in again.
This is a big work being done by this defensive side. Not letting Heretics run away with it just yet. Narrow margins, but just about coming on top. Profek, big play in the last. He's at a 4-piece
some
as
lurk
well.
smokes. Trying to disrupt some of these trips and then go into a C hit.
Sticking around, looking for the duel. I mean, it's not like he's a chamber. He can't just bail out of here. No gate crash to remove him from this situation.
Could
If
be
they swing that
tricky.
corner,
Loon
it's
has
in
an
a
op.
lot of trouble. At least you'd imagine so.
Oh, he's heard the door breaking.
Nice little split push
Gotta
by
choose to
Heretics.
stand and fight,
Ah,
well, stand and fight.
beautifully played.
He's lost the battle to Benji. But even still, the door being opened has managed to get a kill for Yumpy. They're turning this back
That's
already
big.
just as the plant goes down.
Taking the map control back that quickly is pretty huge.
Blocks out B main though. This is a big problem.
Alright, what can Boo
Even
do here
Vac has
against
to now
Vac?
wonder, has Boo fallen back to his teammates? Are they just waiting sociable up in heaven? This
Ah,
is a
the
long
man, this
net being
wall is
cast by
making things
BBL.
so tricky for them.
Side of that net a little bit thin though, and it's
Yeah,
being
good round for
sliced
Heretics.
apart. Team Heretics, they have quickly dealt with that retake. Boo making it look easy in the door room. 6.
It's very good reaction from Heretics. You lose Benji, instantly pop the Astro Wall.
In the post Heretics, they're just very,
Have a
very
lot of good off
By the
angles.
way, they're able to section off specific angles, isolate some of those fights, and definitely looking a little bit more disjointed. I think it was both Yumpy and Prophet coming from the same angle, but just a few seconds apart, and that's enough to just give easy 1v1 fights to the side of Heretics, and that's really not something that you want to be doing. You mentioned Boo as well.
I mean, like, surely
It is just a
we
fact that
recycle
this
the
man
mid
back
smoke
controller,
and put our op on C. I don't really know why our op is like holding a strange ass angle and we have zero A main control if he's gonna be playing B, because he's just gonna get pinched like that every time.
Is absolutely fine, because even if you don't have Miniboo just popping off the scale,
Whereas like if it's Omen holding mid, the in and around smoke, he has a blind to play off of, TPs to get out.
you can see it on the scoreboard at the moment. That was 3 in a row for the defensive side, and they may only have a single rifle coming into this round.
Yep. It's how close so many of these battles have been. It's been left down to individuals. Pick up pieces, bar that one round where Prophet got a 4-piece, but even then, I think there was like 3 players left alive. So it's been costly.
Alright, let's see how they set up now.
3 rounds left to go in this half.
Alright, BBL going back to their initial default. Standard A control, breach holding B, Cypher C. And look like we might get a fast C rush out of Heretics. Benji gets that info. We're looking at 3A. They could just speed up C if they really wanted to. Especially on an eco. Breach stun and utility is good.
They may be forced into a retake fairly soon.
They're already here though, so this might be a little tricky for Heretics. Chose to use our Fatal that way, which I really like. And we just kind of like face up on the lessened health.
Spike's still yet to be retrieved, but I think they want at least some safer space before they do too much more.
I think that's just an excellent read that in this round, BBL would not be playing on site for fear of the Nightfall, so they take site, confirm they're not there, and then it's a deeper Nightfall, capitalized on with the nade.
I think would have made it a little more interesting if they had just like kind of contacted and not been as loud with their push.
Well, he was looking like he was
and just kind of faced up. Because this is getting a little risky, having them all on site and just committing to it so early.
Now it's 2 players. I said Boo was on his way. Well, he's just 1 HP above Woot now. Hope is that Benji's going to be able to put in.
They should have this though pretty easily. Oh.
I don't know that the other 2 are going to be all too happy to take those fights.
Okay.
Boo clearly is.
Nice turn, nice turn.
For Team Heretics. This was a round that they should have had very little resistance, especially after the initial site take, though. BBL did a wonderful job to still make that costly.
I think it's the gamble. That's the thing. They all in on this C-site hold, and even though the Nightfall is there, you're going to be low on HP. It doesn't matter. If you have a crossfire of enough players, you can still trade out a lot of those kills. So it's extra damage. Ultimately, you're still 7-3 down. Similarly to the last map, but in the other direction. Can Heretics now turn this into a truly monumental lead?
Yeah, 8 in this half would be huge here.
Close for that defensive side. I'm looking at the Rolling Thunder. I'm looking at the Showstopper. It could easily be in play this round.
Yeah, with the round, well, the map that's in it, it will be hard for the defenders to push forward and claim those orbs, but a kill. Then a retake looks a whole lot more doable. Yumpy is here. Stun goes in.
Alright, we just get a fast little B hit. Yumpy able to get off the trip. Surprised we didn't get a Prowler onto the trip first. Oh! He's not gonna have time. No, he's done.
This round is pure madness. A showstopper available thanks to the kill from Levin. And now the C site that they were on their way towards, it's not going to be quite as safe as.
Don't force this. Just face up as a team.
It's coming. Showstopper used, fired, but he's deleted right after. Sociable.
Rians gets the one. Nice.
Ends up winning.
8 is huge here.
That was one of the most chaotic rounds I've seen in quite a while.
It's one that I think, if you're Rians, you're probably laughing. If you're anybody else, you might just want to forget what happened. This early fight. I think it was just a singular trip that gave all the information that was necessary.
It really was. We're just kind of rushing.
Well, this is nightmare fuel. Gets away with the first. Goes, okay, I'm gonna leave now.
He also slow there too. And I don't think he would have gotten there regardless, but it's not helping his case there. Good trades.
Maybe a little bit lucky to even get away with that kill.
Alright, basically the same default we had last round from BBL.
They're not gonna care. 8-3 up. Finances.
Get a little recall to take space in the one way.
They still didn't win, and Woot has just been domed. He got him down to 30 through the corner of the wall.
I think a Vise would be really nice within this comp instead of the KJ.
Some players that say it's all right. Scream thinks it's good. Back, nice shot.
They think they're gonna struggle on defense a little bit.
There he is though. Okay, it turns out to be a bit of a bait. Showstopper fired in by Miniboo.
But having 9 here should be such a nice buffer regardless.
Levin's walking up. They seem aware of it. The timing though is key. He's got the shot.
He's so good, bro. His aim is disgusting. The nade and then the lockdown destroyer? Gets 3? guy's insane.
This round from a surefire victory. The pressure sits on Boo. He knows where both of these players are. Will not be able to take
You gotta spray through the wall there. Reposition.
On the board for BBL.
All good.
It's
All good.
3 in a row and 1 at the end. It might just be enough.
It's still gonna have to be a serious resurgence going into that attack in half. It definitely still sees some of the flair, some of the individual brilliance, Mitch, but we'll have to wait and see what they've got.
I don't think wide swinging there is great either. Like I don't see why you'd wide swing. You're not killing both. You like your clutch percentage literally goes to 0 by wide swing. Oops. Alright, let's look at some of these other comps. IP, you're in a chamber. New duelist combined. That is bold.
10 and you're not ready. That eyeshadow, so fire.
This is interesting.
Know what else is fire? Your kitchen. No, seriously.
What are these comps, man? What am I looking at?
With over 25% faster smoke detection, kitted detect.
Especially when you compare it to this comp, which is like,
So, takeout?
bro, we get a Harbor Viper. No way. It's kind of sick. I mean, this comp is like dog shit, I'm not gonna lie. But this comp is good.
If you sell a product on December 31st, but you
And
don't
then
get paid until January
Abyss.
1st, which year would you recognize the sale?
Running the energy comp,
If you use
which
cash
can be
versus
fun,
accrual
and they
accounting,
just dominated.
income is recognized when it
They
is
started off on attack though as well, so that helps.
Thanks, Brianna.
Let the trusted experts at QuickBooks give you the guidance you need to keep your books up to date and on track for tax time. Thanks for playing.
Thank you.
Performance up against some fantastic teams. Fnatic being the last has kept them in it. For now, though, they've lost Pearl, their home turf. Now 8-4 down on Lotus. The way back, it seems cloudy. There's fog ahead and the path unclear. But Tom, it's not over just yet. And if they win this pistol, BBL may stand a chance.
Wow, you know, Fnatic probably thought that they'd beaten them already.
They probably did.
Went into an attack side half, got boomed. So I have to wait and see. Already early control taken. A very passive hold. Now both controller players sit within the Z site.
We got Miniboo able to kind of play off a turret and an Astra Star. And we got our 2 smokers able to just kind of like smoke the entire site and playing around their smokes like cages. So it's kind of nice. See what they can do here. This, yeah, is going to be hard to get through for BBL. I mean, look how much time they're able to stall, man. Yeah, it's not even over rotating. They're just kind of trusting that the 3 of them can fight this. Maybe a little too much trust. A flank for Miniboo or another Benji would have been nice here. What Miniboo's doing right now, I think he should have done earlier.
They've already killed one on the opposition. A bit of an awkward fight, but Sociable still gets the job done.
You just gotta credit BBL though.
First comes
They don't
easy,
rush
the
it
rest
at the end and are able to pick off the rest of those guys.
gives him a fight, and they
Good run.
do, but both at the same time. Solid double peak from the side of BBL, and that lifeline has been grasped with both hands.
Oh yeah, well needed, a much needed delivery from the side of BBL. And it seemed like it was slipping apart. The fact that this team just waits, Heretics take back sight, pump brakes, and hold.
I mean, that reveal.
Right there.
Dirty.
It changes everything, making it an easy connection for every single player on that site. They all put in the work. They reap the benefit together. Let's go! And Yumpy is clearly excited about that.
Oh, good up down there.
Well, that was a combo. That was the Marshall hit at the exact same time. Sociable doesn't give a damn. He's already managed to clear out 2 in response. And that's the thing, that this is where I'm most excited with BBL. You give Yumpy, the helm of the attack side, a chance to call for the team, but also with the breach, a much better chance to actually set up some of those superstars that we have
Alright, get a little crossfire at baby door. Let's see what BBL will do. Just kind of waiting for reactions here.
Have a fair amount to lose. With Mini Boo's Marshall over on that A site, they do have to be a little bit careful. We've already seen him take heads off just last map.
While the group from BBL and slow shift to the other side, not looking to just push into those angles where no doubt there's going to be players sitting and waiting. With 40 seconds on the clock, well, they have the choice of any position on the map. Still traps covering the A and C push-ups. A logical conclusion is B. The thing is, that's the quickest rotation for Heretics. They'll be here
Alright, a little smoke off themselves. 3-2-1 out of the smoke.
The players on the site, Sociable does well, landing another, but it's a 2v2, 18 seconds.
That's really nice from them.
Needs to be planted. A smoke though gives them that safe spot to plant. The nade close, it will deny it. A second attempt at the plant. This time a little more out in the open, but it lands. Finally connected. Mini Boo needs both shots. Both players are low though. Needs the reload first.
Mini Boo, if you cluster, I swear to God, you're the fucking goat.
Have to land both. As the timer ticks away, they start to think about him repositioning, but round the corner he comes anyways. A firing squad, he spotted that. Although they've separated, they've given him a chance. He's just bullet by bullet reloading, looking for any opportunity.
Yeah, not much you can do there, but not a terrible eco.
He gets 8 to 6.
Yeah, and a decent amount of damage though. I think that's how Heretics can look at that from a position where they're a player down. They have a Marshall and a couple of pistols. That's really not bad whatsoever. Miniboo as well has already started building up some economy back towards that showstopper.
10 seconds left. One.
And this is now we've kind of look at what's going to be the investment here. Because it does seem like, at least for BBL, the majority of players are going to be left on a rifle. Sociable was bought into a Ghost alongside full shields. It seems like the goal here is to get him on that Nightfall and potentially utilize that to get into the seaside.
Yeah, so the advantage of having the double smokes with the Omen is Asher can use their stars a little more aggressively, so we get some interesting star placements.
He wins the race clearly. That spike's on its way back. If they do go towards A, there's a lot of danger waiting for them. I was going to start circling the map. Our observers are ahead of me. Boo. Already in position up top. You can see him on rubble, and the point of contact Mini Boo. He sees them. Paranoia is thrown out. Big swing. Round might just be over before it gets started, but they've seen Boo up top. Now the element of surprise. Well, it disappears. Nade goes deep. That
nice.
Actually, Mini Boo.
I mean, yeah, 50 seconds left. Just gonna force them onto B.
Heretics give up the control on A and gamble a little bit
great
more
defensive start.
This is where the Nightfall comes in, but it's been
Rans gets 1 or 2 here. It's huge. Oh, Boo gets 1. Rans gets 2.
We talked about those haunts on the other side. This time, it's Rien's. Well, I say this time, it has been throughout this map. An incredible performance. Spike on the deck. Sociable. It's going to be spotted. No chance for any sneaky behavior, and in fact, there's only 15 seconds left now on the clock for Profik.
Triple face up.
With much value, unless he can find himself an upgrade.
Just plant and die.
I think it may just be.
I don't know, go for guns. You don't plant. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was either that or attempt the plant, and you know they're going to come rushing in to kill you. No point just carrying it forward. 9 to 6.
Let's look at Rien's 19 and 9. Like this is the thing. He avoids obviously the ultimate, the Nightfall, but he throws in the haunt and then just pops.
How does that haunt not get broken?
It's just one of those things where when he is in form, also personal thing when he's playing that initiator, he just looks like maybe even the best player in the world. Like it's so hard to play against him, setting himself up for this defense. Well, it's the classic. They're going to deny that early A control. A lot of stars put in place alongside it. The benefit of the Astra is you can actually hold players back from pushing. The attack, though, again, have more of a focus on early B presence. Not necessarily taking it, but just making sure that the defenders don't have that information.
The defenders at this point, they don't have any information of their own.
Alright, a little Prowler.
To confirm they're not just sitting outside there on the attack side, ready to burst through the floodgates.
Heretics very passive.
with A being spotted. It's not the best control in the world, but it's at least the jump spot confirms that probably no one has crossed. Tiny window they could get across.
And after last
Just kind of
round, he's
reading the
just putting
C
deep
hit.
smokes to sell the idea that there is still someone there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want them to think there's A control. Heretics want them to maybe walk towards B, but they've already been punished there. What they really want is BBL to have no info and play late gamble into the C site, into the
Oh, this is gonna be rough, man. This contact is okay. I was gonna say, no, man. Good hit. Wow, what a shot by Benji. Over. Save. Literally save.
Now they have to walk back into the hands of Riens. And Boo, who's now rotated into position. There is 13 seconds. I don't know if they go for this. You're running into a site blind through a smoke. It's just not worth it for BBL. And that round ended before it even began.
Alright, so BBL, no, they need to take more map control. You just have to disrespect these smokes, man. You can't be afraid.
It's just pixel perfect Valorant, really.
And it really was, yeah, just a great setup by Heretics.
Denial, the Prowler late on B, confirming that they can commit to this stack. The Showstopper can be ready. Wasn't even needed.
No, Benji was too quick.
The only contribution that had to the round was them in comms going, Showstopper. Other than that, there was nothing to worry about because the round was done.
Alright, so a really aggressive A control setup here.
And the defensive side,
Let's see who wins this brawl.
Looking very difficult to figure out. So now you think, let's go back to A. They were stacked C. A side should be a little easier to take. What are they doing? One guy pushing up? No, it's 4 players
nice
pushing up.
Boo.
It's flashes, it's paranoias, it's everything. And nothing for BBL.
Beautiful. Able to insert the Omen, just quick rotate his 3.
That's the thing. They've attempted that trap a couple of times. Again, utilizing that Astra utility, dragging players into awkward fights, stunning them as they try and make their way
I
through.
wish they took the B rotate. It's a little slow, but it doesn't matter because BBL's so slow.
Let's do it again. Wait and see if they try and take that control. And losing A control, it just makes it so hard to play because now look at the defense.
Forced them to see. They're reading them like books. Holy shit. At least they contact with the lurk smoke. Smarter.
Woot goes down. Spam is good. Spam is dealing big damage, but Mini Boo, he is corrupt into the other smoke.
Nice Mini Boo. Great play.
He is dealing death to his opponents. BBL being swept away by the wave of Heretics win after win. 5 rounds now. And Tommy said there were 2 realities.
Do we have a timeout left? Because we need to talk about what to do against this.
We are a team that can fight you on any map. Or we realize that Heretics are just those guys. And it seems like we might be in that boat. Lotus, definitely a comfort ground for them. Not so much for BBL.
I think as well, like we're seeing solid individual performances from players like Riens, but I also think, especially this defensive side calling from Boo has literally been perfect. Every single setup or idea that they've had over the last 3 rounds has just been squeaky clean. I'd say even the pistol round strat that they had was spot on in terms of delay. The openers, it was just ruined by a singular horn.
He's got the whiteboard out, mate. That's where we're at. I said earlier, Pal seems a lot more calm than the previous ones. Now he's waving about books, flicking through pages.
Drawing?
Yeah, drawing the whole map out. Like
things are going bad.
Look, the reality is though, for BBL, they've been a team that have been underestimated every step of the way. This is not a team that pressure gets to. Sure, the community is starting to drum up support behind them, but you see them lose to Heretics, no one's going to go, guys, come on. Like, you know, rework the roster at this point.
Unlike last year.
Unlike last year. Different story. But the scoreline's still not damning. They've had a moment to speak to their coaching staff. But again, you know, this isn't one guy's popping off or one play is working or one part of the map they just can't get control of. No, this is Heretics calling a perfect game, being 2 steps ahead every step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, can't lie. It's a pretty accurate synopsis. And just reading into this B setup, instant B trap, love it.
So far has been spot on. They have read them every step of the way. It literally, it sounds like Boo is in their comms. Like,
genuinely, we need to look into that. The fact that that's the first time we see a B push-up. And again, it's like, okay, they call a pause. What's not been working? They can't get A main control, we push them back. They can't get C site, there's always 3 of us there. They probably think there's 3 people playing that side of the map because our rotations are so good. Where are they going to go? Might be B.
They went B once with an ult. Riens killed them all. They're going to think, okay, he won't do that again. This time there's a full setup waiting for them.
honestly outlandish. And from BBL's perspective, it must feel like just banging your head against a brick wall, chasing windmills in the hurricane.
The thing is, so Rians has already fallen back. He has Nightfall. That's why he's solo on the A site this time. They are happy with his ability to slow them down. With the early failure on B, they're going to try and leave a player behind. Already though, Heretics are set up for the retake. That is their goal. To try and get back in.
We have Rand's ult, so I don't hate it. Like, if BBL can get a little aggressive in tower, maybe take someone out, and it's a 5v3.
He's too smart.
So I'm saying like a 4v5, it's not automatically losable. It's not a great timing for sociable.
They dodged it.
Surely your flank could have been later.
But look, it's a 5v3. Vac needs to make a big play. Boo is again watching for the player trying to sneak up on him.
Not even gonna.
He's just ready for every play. Now they've got an angle to deny. This spike, they've actually killed one. They don't know that that wasn't the diffuser. It's halved already. Yumpy alone knows there's a player by the door.
Oh no.
And now it's Benjyfishy against the rolling. Oh no, Yumpy!
No!
He gave it away. He thought there's no time for the rolling thunder, but there was no time for the run up either. Oh, that's heartbreaking. He could have stepped to the side. He might have had an angle. Instead, he wants to
Oh, what was that, Yumpy?
Hesitation.
It's too far.
I think, yeah, Rolling Thunder would have denied.
It would have. You had time.
He's already been on it.
1v1 as well.
Just rip it, bro.
And at that point, it's already gone.
Gotta trust yourself.
He's literally a split second behind.
Tragic.
12 and 6.
Also steal, Benji, also steal. And not a great buy for BBL here. Quick C control.
Mostly Guardians. A faster move attempted and a much better start. They've at least cleared one.
Yeah, Benji's done. How did he get one there?
This is one of the first times we've seen them with an advantage.
Literally.
Yeah, it's a first
Could be 7 for BBL, but
Rolling Thunder for both
if you're Heretics here, I think you just try to take their guns. Not even worry about how much you can even win this necessarily. Maybe even get out the breach ult if you can.
We don't expect to see Rolling Thunder used here. It should be safe. But a kill going the way of Heretics, and that plan goes out the window.
That's rough.
Yumpy. Wow, that previous round lit a fire under him evidently. Looking hot to the touch as 12-6 turns 12-7. Boo left to save this weapon. Heretics, well, they'll finally taste defeat in a round, but defeat in the map is a long way away. It would have to be overtime, and even getting there is going to be a challenge.
It seems like Boo's attempt here is to do as much damage as possible. They've got spare credits, so not really the end of the world for him losing that gun. They will be able to rebuy. What was a much faster paced hit. An impressive opener. I like the fact as well that they are very prepared for these off-angle positions, especially considering that, look at the previous ways Heretics have played. They haven't been in that corner. It hasn't been a spot, but I think they are starting to clock on the Heretics are constantly attempting to make adaptations. One of those is now in. 4 ultimates, but more importantly, Miniboo with that operator. They haven't really put out deep pressure onto C, and he is going to immediately take that space.
Alright, a little faster map control for BBL. Not happening to run into the Heretic stacks. Oh, that's very bad. Lose our smoker. Alright, BBL, we have 2 ults online. We just don't rush it. Make sure we use them. Use them value.
But when to use them is the real problem they have.
Good little timing by that.
Miniboo on his way around. Rolling Thunder used on A. Okay, back. I mean, he's just used a cage, though. Miniboo knows that he's on the B side. He knows they might be coming back in this direction. He's sticking around, and that showstopper will be quick to be fired in, or at least
interesting use of the breach ult there. The fake.
Knowing that there's still players close by. One goes far, one goes close, nothing. Lands for damage. Nade is good. Levin pushed forward, and it's into an op. He doesn't know what's just around that corner, but he won't walk into it. The lockdown instead, sending them in the other direction, buying space for Heretics.
Afterwall came a little bit early, but it's all good.
This is an uphill battle indeed.
Surely we get half here. Maybe we're diffusing it.
They don't even make it past the cosmic divide. 13-7. Heretics. They make it look easy.
Yeah, once again, they are a match away from making it to an international event, and there is a reason that when people made their tier list, when people made their predictions, there was only one team that sat at the top. This is the squad to beat, even when they are pushed and pressured, and that's been the thing that's most impressed me so far. The first game they played, a big defeat, they respond. Second game they played, they're down, but they make a resurgence. The credit I'll give to the other side, though, is the fact that a resurgence needed to be made. A team still playing with a stand-in, still playing with a lot of rookies. They are impressing me, BBL. But to make it to the very top, maybe there's still a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, no doubt, but this is a squad
Nice
that
one from
came in with
Heretics.
low
Just
expectations
domination,
and have
honestly.
delivered already
That
far
Lotus
beyond
was
what anybody, I'm
something.
sure even themselves, expected from kickoff. Stage one.
Now we get to watch Vitality. Let's go.
Perhaps they'll look
Be back in an hour.